Stukent and BusinessU's 4-pillar approach. We are so excited that you've joined us today. Thank you so much. My name is Paul Cotter. I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at Stukent, and I'm thrilled to be hosting today's webinar. As we begin, I want to encourage you to use the chat feature. Go ahead and start out, share where you're from. Let us know what school you teach at. If you have any questions throughout today's presentation, go ahead and enter it in the chat. We'll be answering those questions, some of them in real time, and we will also do a live Q&A at the end of the presentation. All right, looks like Marjorie, oh, sorry, my screen is changing here. Lori from Rochester High School, welcome. Emma from McGinnis, welcome. It's going so fast, I can't read them. Sorry, guys. Star, welcome. Gerald, Lindsay, San Antonio, Texas, awesome. Mustang High School, welcome, everyone. This is great. Keep it coming. We're excited that all of you are with us today. If you can't stick around for the entire presentation today, don't worry about it. We plan to share the recording with you at the end. We will also, like I said, have a live Q&A at the end of this presentation. And it goes without saying, but please be respectful and kind with any of your comments today. As a special thank you for joining us today, we're excited to offer you a free trial of Stukent CTE. Click below to see how Stukent CTE can connect your class to a full learning experience filled with standards-based courseware, Simternships, certification prep material, and industry-approved certifications. Take advantage of this opportunity to explore how Stukent CTE can help elevate learning and future careers. Now, while you're taking a second to request access, I want to introduce our presenters for today, Liz Brown-Evans and Virgil Ricks. So I'll welcome them to the stage and I'll read and share just a little bit about them. Liz serves as VP of Sales for Stukent CTE and truly believes our world is a better place when young people have access to CTE education that inspires them. She believes that with engaging content, world-class support, and no small amount of caffeine, we can empower teachers and students to change the world. She's a dog lover, mediocre runner, and prefers tea over coffee. Welcome, Liz. We also have Virgil Ricks. He is the portfolio director for Stukent CTE, where he works to bring innovative, engaging curriculum and simulations into CTE classrooms across the country. He is a former high school teacher and creator of the educational YouTube channel 2 Minute Classroom, which has driven more than 20 million views. Virgil is passionate about making education better and fulfilling Stukent's CTE mission to help educators, help students, help the world. Welcome, Virgil. So what I want to do right now is I want to turn the time over to Liz and Virgil, and we're going to let them take the show and tell you all about today's presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. I really appreciate it. As you mentioned, I'm Liz. This is Virgil. We are very excited to dive in today. It's incredibly encouraging to see so many familiar names in the chat box and on the attendee list. So as Paul mentioned, our focus today is really to take everyone through the merger of Stukent and BusinessU into Stukent CTE. Both of our companies have been in the CTE space for years. We have close relationships with so many of you, and we're passionate about providing teachers with updated, current, engaging resources that inspire students in the classroom and make your lives easier as teachers. And we are also passionate about doing this through a platform and incredible teacher support. So going forward, teachers are going to be able to access world-class curriculum, simulations, cert prep, and certifications all in one intuitive platform with unlimited training, with teacher support, everything you're used to. I want to go ahead and share an image here that's going to shape the conversation today. And perfect. So this image here really shows our vision as Stukent CTE, as BusinessU and Stukent have come together. We are now a one-stop shop for CTE teachers for, as I mentioned, these kind of 4 columns: curriculum, simulations, or Simternships, as many of you know them as, certification prep, and certifications. We're going to dive into each of these columns in depth today and how they're all now going to work together. But out of the gate, we have so many teachers, as I saw on the poll, we have so many people on here that are users of both platforms that we want to address some frequently asked questions just kind of out of the gate. So the main question that a lot of you are asking is, what is changing for me? And the short answer is it's all good news, not a lot. If you are a current BusinessU teacher, everything's going to be business as usual, but you now have additional resources that we're going to show you today that you'll be able to add to your license. If you are a current Stukent user, a current Stukent customer, you will still have access to all of your beloved resources that you do now, but starting this summer, you'll access everything through the Stukent CTE platform, which I'm also going to show you today. If you have not used either resource before, welcome. We're so glad you're here. And we're excited to show you everything that we have to offer. So as we chat today, you have a few options to reach out, and Paul mentioned one of these. So if you're a teacher that has never used either BusinessU or Stukent before, please sign up at that free trial link that was popped up that should still be there in the bottom left of your screen. We would love to get you rolling on a free trial. You'll be able to access all the resources we're going to discuss today. If you're a current Stukent teacher and you want to go ahead and check out the new platform and the BusinessU resources that we're going to show you, please also sign up for a free trial. We'll get your account created. That will be your account you will use starting later this summer. You don't have to do that yet, but we would love for you to go ahead and get used to the platform and see some of the BusinessU resources. If you're a current BusinessU user and you want us to go ahead and add the simulations and Simternships we're going to talk about to your license, please go ahead and reach out to your main point of contact, or you can email us at sales@businessu.org and we'll get you taken care of, but you don't need to sign up in that trial. It's just going to take you to your current license at BusinessU. I've already seen some of you guys in the chat asking about that. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in here. So these 4 columns that you see here, this is really, as I said, our vision for how we want to support not just business marketing finance teachers, but you see on here a little glimpse in the bottom left of agriculture. We now have agriculture U as well, and we are going to be expanding into even more pathways. Business and marketing and finance has really been the first love for both of our companies. And so we're going to, mostly today's conversation is going to focus on our resources for the business cluster. But if you have colleagues in ag or in other resources, please send them our way, and we would also love to chat. So as I mentioned, BusinessU really for years, we have been focused on world-class curriculum and courseware that teachers can use in class. These are year and semester long courses that are standards-based, they're pre-paced, pre-sequenced, updated, engaging, and again, we're going to get into the DNA of those here in a minute. Whereas Stukent has been focused on world-class, application-rich, work-based learning type simulations. We actually call them Simternships. They are simulated internships. So they're far more than just learning how to post to social media, but students also learn how to be an intern at a company and learn interpersonal skills. And Virgil, in a little bit, is going to walk us through really how we approach that in a simulation. Certifications, we have approached this 2 different ways. So BusinessU historically has, we have courses that align to third-party certifications, many of which are through Certiport, but also a few others such as NOCD. This Microsoft Office, we have 3 mini courses that align to the Certiport Microsoft exam. That's the associate level exam. And I will walk you guys through what that course looks like. But we also, our curriculum actually aligns to a couple of third-party certs as well, which are for accounting, personal finance, and the ESB, the entrepreneurship and small business through Certiport. And then last but not least, the certification column, the sort of legacy Stukent team, now the Stukent CTE team, we have, we know that you guys as teachers in your states State-approved certifications is a really vital part to how districts and schools are approaching how to deliver content. So we are working on these certifications that we have created to get them state-approved. We are in 7 and plus counting states already, and we will list those out. So if you're a teacher in any of those states, we'd love to chat with you more. Virgil's going to give us more details at the end, but this is kind of a fourth column that we are increasingly investing into, as we know how important it is for you guys as teachers in the classroom. So I'm going to switch now to, let's dive into the platform itself. So again, for the BusinessU teachers on the call, this is going to be a little bit repetitive because you guys are used to seeing this, but for everyone else, we're very excited to show you what the new platform you guys will be using is going to look like. So this is my Stukent CTE account, if you will. So I'm a teacher, and I want to walk you guys through both what it looks like to create a class that is either for courseware and curriculum or for your simulations. Either of those options, it's going to be the same thing. So when you guys request that free trial, we'll approve you. When you first see the screen, it's going to say, welcome to BusinessU and Stukent CTE and your name. You're going to come to this add class in the top right, and we have a few options out of the gate here. So you can create a class from one of our template courses or from one of our Simternships down below. You can build your own course. We have a high amount of customization that we give you, or you can create a class from one of your own templates. We'll come back to that in a little bit, but for now, I want to go ahead. I'm going to create a marketing course out of the gate. One of the things we're most excited about for the Stukent users to experience in the new platform is a much more intuitive login, rostering, and LMS experience. There's a lot of other benefits from a platform perspective around customization, but out of the gate here, you'll see we make rostering and syncing to your LMS incredibly simple. So we integrate with all the major LMS systems: Classroom, Canvas, Schoology, Clever, and Teams. So I'm going to show you what it looks like for Classroom, but it works relatively the same for pretty much any of the others. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this to my Google Classroom. If this were happening for the first time, it would prompt me to log in and give it some permissions. And then what it's doing is it's pulling my Google Classroom courses. So I'm going to tell it to connect. This is the intro class I would like to attach it to. It's going to pull my roster of students from Classroom or from your LMS. I'm going to import these students directly from my LMS. And that is it. Students don't need a password. They don't need a class code. They're now ready to log in with single sign-on. So rostering is made very easy. You as the teacher are also in control of adding and dropping students. And so it's very easy for students to get rolling. The second component is that it is very easy for you to sync content to your LMS. So I'll come back to what these elements are in just a second, but you'll notice everything is toggled off by default. So as I want to deliver any element in my Google Classroom, I can enable this green, hit these 3 little dots. It's then going to let me sync with Google Classroom. What this will do is now create this element in my LMS that has a backlink to the platform. Students are given a hyperlink that sends them to that specific assignment. Your grades will now transfer automatically, and it's a really seamless experience between syncing to your LMS and then students being able to use the content as well. This will be the same experience whether you're delivering courseware or you're delivering a simulation and you want to sync it over to your LMS. It'll be that same syncing process with rostering students and then hitting sync with. To focus for just a minute, though, on our courses. So this is the basic outline or basic DNA of how we approach courseware. So we typically break them up by semester. And then each course breaks down into topics, which break down into lessons, which then include anywhere from maybe 10 to 15 lesson elements. So at the top here, we're going to start off with really our core content, if you will. So this is going to include video, text, and this class discussion includes a PowerPoint. I want to show you some examples of some of these. So this is what a lot of our videos look like. So it's a lot of text animation, a lot of motion graphics, young, energetic, diverse talent. They're maybe 5 to 15 minutes long. I know attention spans are short. We try to keep them relevant for students. We also provide you with a PowerPoint presentation. And so this is going to be a downloadable file for you that is ready, updated, engaging, brands that students are going to recognize. But you also can make edits to this. So it's a file that downloads to your computer and your control if you want to make some tweaks as well. And then we also are going to give you, there we go, the actual lesson text. So the text, the video, and the PowerPoint, they're all very similar information by design, different teaching styles, different learning styles. You as the teacher, as we mentioned, are in full control over what you do and don't deliver in class. So let's say I want to deliver the PowerPoint, but I also have a couple students who are absent and I want to give the video just to them to watch at home. You're able to decide what students see which elements as well. Down below here then are different formative and summative assessment options. So some of these will auto grade for you, like glossary quiz and lesson quiz. Some of these are more open-ended, like our activities. These are group and individual activities. Some of them are get together and get a poster board and do an activity. Some of them are PowerPoints that they'll present. They really run the gamut from lesson to lesson. One of the features, or really resources that we're most known for and is most popular, is our bell ringer series. I would love to know in the chat how many of you guys are DECA or FBLA advisors. I'm sure everyone's going to get passionate on that here very quickly. But I want to show you guys, if you have, let me try to share my screen here really quick. If you guys have heard of DECA or FBLA at the Bell, we actually partner with both of those entities on our bell ringer series. Tom, I've not forgotten BPA. We love all of the CTOs equally. We just don't happen to currently create resources with BPA. Give me just a minute. I am struggling to share my screen again. Give me just a second. So I may try to exit and come back on really quick because it's not letting me share my screen anymore. Give me just 1 minute.
Hello. While she's getting on, I can bring it up as well, Liz, if you can't.
Okay, I got it. I think I just needed to restart there. Okay, hopefully this works. Perfect. Cooking with gas. Okay, so we work with both DECA and FBLA to create what we call our bell ringer series. So this is our At the Bell, and we always say you can think of these like Saturday Night Live meets bell ringers. So we take current events and case studies and we relate them back to the classroom. This is Maggie and Jaden. They do a ton of our videos together. This particular video happens to be on NIL. For all you sports fans out there, we have all these 19 and 20-year-olds who are now signing these major contracts and NIL deals. Really, this lesson is on business law and on contracts. And so it's going to end with some discussion questions, or some of them have ethics challenges. But really, we're trying to take things that students care about, again, and relate it back to the standards that they're learning about in class. So we have quite the repository of these resources at this point. And again, we partner with both CTSOs. We release these once a week, both the Bell Ringer series. They're on everything from Taylor Swift to fast food to video games, sneakers, you name a topic, we probably have an episode on it. Not only do we release them once a week, but we also put them into the lessons as they relate to that standard. So this lesson that we've started on down here at the bottom, this At the Bell, is a great episode on Super Bowl. Why do the performers perform for free? Turns out they're doing just fine. They make a ton of ROI, but it really asks, what is marketing? What is publicity? But related to the Super Bowl. So that's the basic DNA of a given lesson in the platform. And as you also deliver any of this content, it's worth noting this will be the case both for, again, your courses or your systems, but you'll have quite a few setting options depending on which one you're using. But you can set due dates, you can change the point value, you can give them multiple attempts, you can decide how they see answers. The name of the game here is you as the teacher are in full control of how an assignment is delivered. So that is turnkey how a lesson works. I want to transition to some of our customizations, which is going to bring us full circle to the simulations here in just a minute, to our Simternships. But it's worth noting that all of our resources are very turnkey, ready for you out of the gate. but you also have a high degree of customization. So if you want to tweak one of our activities, or you want a multiple choice test that you need to adjust for a student on an IEP, you can make a copy of any of our resources, and you then can edit them on this edit tab. So I want to change this information. I want to add a different question type. I could do a file upload, medium form. I could do a recording, whatever I want. I could do a student discussion. I'm going to save changes. And then let's say I need to deliver this version just to a few students and not to others. I'm going to give this to just the 2 students I want to. So not only are you not limited to the content itself, you can make edits, but you also aren't limited to our scope or sequencing either. So you can move lessons around. And then through this add content button, this is where it gets fun. So you can bring in your own content if you would like, files, videos, links. Some of you guys have been doing this for forever. I know you have the resources that you love using every year. You're welcome to bring them in. But this courses button, this is where this one-stop shop concept really comes back around. So you're not limited to just delivering a marketing course as we have sort of templated for you. You certainly are able to bring in other lessons from other courses. So if I want to bring in courses from the social media marketing course, I can do that. But you now also can bring in rounds of the Simternships from any of the other simulations that we now have in the platform. So I'm going to pull in this round 1 of organic posts from our social media Simternship into my marketing course that I already had created. And I'm going to go ahead and save changes here. So you'll notice that the course here is not only has the content that it started out with, but it's also going to have what I've, excuse me, didn't mean to switch there. It's going to have the other content that I brought in. So let me make sure this comes in here. And I want to show you, Virgil's going to be on deck here in just a second. I want to show you then what this looks like when you bring in the rounds. So this course here, actually on, let me pull in the round one more time. Nope, round 1. I'm going to open this up, and you'll see that it looks a little bit different than the lesson, because now we're into a round of one of the Simternships. So I'm going to go ahead and enable, mostly today we want to focus on showing you guys what launching the Simternship looks like in the platform. So if I click into this component, I want you to look over here on the left. You'll see this teacher information side, a student view, standards, and settings. Right now, for all you Stukent users on the platform, you'll notice here in just a minute that it's going to show you a glimpse into what you're used to seeing on the Stukent side, but it's now going to be basically a mirror image here. So your teacher view is going to load, and you'll notice that you now have everything that you're used to seeing from the Stukent Sim here in this platform. So your rankings, your settings, resources, student results. Obviously, there are no results here as students haven't taken it. The other thing that you can now see is if you impersonate as a student. So now I'm logged in as my student account, and I'm going to launch this simulation as a student. And it is going to give them the option then to actually launch the simulation in a different window. So I'm going to hit launch to social media. And now the student side, they're seeing exactly what they're used to seeing from what was on the Stukent login, now on the BusinessU platform. So that's really the full circle. Again, this is on the teacher side. I have this element now that I can see all of my teacher information. This is what it looks like for the students. And then now it's going to be a good transition to Virgil. Virgil's actually going to dive in deep into what the simulations are, how we create them, how they work. And we'll come back in just a moment on the platform here. But that's full circle, the courseware, the DNA of a course, how you can customize, and then now how you can bring the Stukent simulation and rounds into those courses.
Awesome.
I think Virgil's popping back in. And I should note while he's getting set up, any questions that you guys have, we'll try to take some of them right now if they relate, but we're going to have a lot of time for Q&A at the end for a lot of technical questions as well.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Liz. Love the platform and how easy it is not only to set up your course, but also to customize your course and love that we have these Simternships and simulations in there now that students can access everything from one location. They'll be brought to the sim, as you said, and then when they're done completing a round of the sim, they'll go back into their course in the platform. And so I want to walk through a couple of our Simternships here. I'm going to go fairly quick and try to touch on some high-level points. As Liz said, we'll have some time for questions at the end, and then you can always reach out to anyone here, and we'll be happy to answer additional questions, jump on again and show you a personal deep dive into any of the simulations, any of the courses, anything you want to see. So but feel free to put your questions in the chat as they come up. So we're now in the social media Simternship. And all of our Simternships are set up in a similar format where they have an introduction round and then a number of rounds where the students will complete activities associated with that topic. And so in the introduction round, they're introduced to the simulation as a whole, what they're going to do. So in this case, they're going to be creating ads, organic ads and paid social media ads. They're going to be looking at their KPIs. They're going to be analyzing their data and then making informed decisions on that to drive revenue for a company. As part of all of our simulations, there is inbox where they receive messages from their boss or someone who's guiding them through the simulation. So in this case, their boss is Naomi Hilton. She sends this email: hey, congrats on becoming BusinessU's newest social media specialist. We're excited to have you on board. Here's some details about what you'll be doing. And there's some additional information in the introduction about the brand they'll be working with. So in this case, they're working with Buoy, which is a backpack and bag company. They can learn more about the brand through this brand guide, which walks them through the Buoy brand. And then they also have market information on the products, the market that we're working with, the different personas, some of their makeup, who they are, what they're interested in, so that they can be targeted, through these social media efforts. And all that information is introduced in the introduction round. Then students will jump into the first round of the simulation. In the first round of this simulation, they're working on organic social media posts. And so again, they have the scenario, a message from their boss saying, here's what we're going to be doing in this simulation, right? Here's what we're going to be doing to target these various personas and drive revenue for the company, right? Targeting this OG bag, which is the brand. Then we'll have a similar message in their inbox, so they're getting that information in two different ways. And sometimes in the inbox, they'll have attachments. So they have a Reynolds research report they can download. Downloading that will bring it up in a PDF that they can view and see market data that they can utilize to perform well in the simulation. And that's also in a resources tab here that they always have available. We also have a notification hub within each sim where the students can respond to questions and chats from fictional characters in the simulation. So Yusuf asks, hey, it's my first day interning the marketing department. I was asked to put together a customer persona report, but we haven't covered that term in my marketing class yet. Can you explain it to me? And so you look through these options, select which one you think is best, send that, and then get instant feedback. Oh, that's not quite the right answer. Here is the correct answer. These are not graded. They're just a fun activity to engage the student and help them come do a little knowledge check on some of the topics that will be covered in that round. And then within each round is the actual activities they'll do for that sim. So in this case, the first round, they're doing organic social media posts. They have a budget to purchase media, and they can go across any of the major platforms. So let's say I want to do an Instagram post. I'm going to go in, select my media. There's a bunch of different options here. I can search if I want to do something around hiking. Let's find an image. I'm going to go with this one here, this red backpack. So now that image is in there, I can create my post. Hiking with Buoy backpack. I can do hashtag, right, something like that, and then I can schedule that post, similar to a lot of social media platforms out there. So I can go in and say, here's when I want this post to be scheduled on Thursday at 2 p.m. And the great thing is the data in the resources will help guide students on when the best time to posts these social media posts are for our audience. Then schedule the post. You can say I have several other posts scheduled here already. And then once I've done all the work I need to for this round, I run the simulation and I'll get the results here that will help guide the student in this and future rounds. So there's always a video to walk them through how to understand these results. But then as we scroll down, you'll see, okay, overall, here's my impressions, here's likes I drove for my pages, here's reactions and comments, and here's revenue driven from these organic posts. I can click into each platform and go down and see how each of my posts performed, their impressions, clicks, engagements, and dive into that data to understand what I did well and how I can do better in the next round. So there's 3 rounds of organic social media posts. Then once they hit the 4th round, they get to paid social media posts. And just to show you a quick look here, a little bit different on how they build these posts. I'll bring up one that I've already created. You can see they do a post headline, they select the media, they have a call to action that they get to select associated with that post, and then they get to set a daily budget for that post to run for 1 week. They set that daily budget and select the audience interests. In this case, we're doing a hiking one, so hiking, backpacking, and camping, and then schedule that post. And then again, they run their round and get those results, and they can analyze how their post performed and what they can do better in the future. So that's the social media one at a high level. And then jumping into a few others real quick, our accounting Simternship is a really fun one because accounting often, students just see it as kind of spreadsheets, and it's hard to make accounting fun. And so what we try to do is really show how accounting connects to business and make it real for these students. So in this case, in this overview, they are starting a board rental company in Hawaii. And so they have a business partner, Rachel Keller. She sends them this email, hey, excited to start this business in Hawaii with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then a little bit more about the company that we're starting, Wave Gear, which is going to rent paddle boards and surfboards. So tell you a little bit more about that. And there's also a chart of accounts here for the students to understand the accounts that they'll be using throughout the Simternship. And then within the sim, we'll get started now. They go through several rounds. So first they have their pre-revenue rounds, and then the first couple of weeks of the business, month-end adjustments, several more months of business, and then at the end, preparing financial statements. So essentially they go through several months of starting and running this business, and the student's role is to do all the accounting. So they have their inbox, and in their inbox, they'll have messages from their business partner here, but also from the companies that are sending their invoices that they'll need to then track in their journal entry hub, which we'll get to. And so they can download these, and when it downloads, open as this PDF, and you can see they look very real world, right? We want to simulate like an experience that anyone would have working with this a real company. So they have their invoice for purchasing these paddle boards that they're going to rent. Here's the quantity purchased, unit price, total cost, and the stamp that there was a partial payment here, right? So the students will use this when they get into their journal entry hub. And we've made this very similar to a lot of ERP platforms, QuickBooks being the most popular. So they're going to go in and select what they're doing the journal entry for. So in this case, let's say I'm doing for my personal investment, and that's going to be in one of the emails. It mentions that, and so I go and select the cash. We'll say $5,000, and I'm going to say that goes to common stock, $5,000. And you'll notice I'm going to do right now $500. And right down here it says debits and credits must be equal. So it won't let me submit this, won't let me save this until those debits and credits are equal. Also, I'm not an accountant, so anything I'm doing incorrect here, I'm not an accountant. So now I've got my debits and credits equal. I think, all right, this looks good. I'm going to go ahead and validate this. So it says you'll be graded on your first validation attempt. Great. I'm going to validate, and great, I got it correct. So save that entry, it populates down here, and then I can go and do another one. And this one I'm going to do incorrect, just to show the feedback that the student will get if they make a mistake. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to select cash, and I'm going to select inventory, and I'm going to do 10,000, and I'm going to do 10,000 here, and then validate. So it validates again and says, oh, you have incorrect debit here and an incorrect account. So I can go and try to adjust that, validate again. It's going to give me, oh, you have the incorrect amount. I'm going to adjust that to 15,000. Validate again. And on that attempt, it said you get 3 tries. I said 3 out of 3. I didn't get it correct, so it automatically entered, no, it's 30,000, corrected it for me, and then I can move forward. But again, I'm graded on the first attempt. So they'll go through to that, and I'll jump ahead to a sim where I've already completed a couple rounds. And you can see for the results, students will get essentially feedback on, here's why this is the correct entry, right? So the business partner is letting them know, cash is received, debit cash, 30,000. Your business partner is paying capital to the business, so credit common stock, 30,000. So educating them as they go throughout this. And then that's what they'll do throughout the rounds is basically do all the accounting for this company as it goes through its first several months of business. And then the last one I want to highlight is our entrepreneurship course. And this one, with the time, I won't go in as much detail, but I'll just kind of highlight the rounds here. So essentially we take them from starting the idea of a business, right? And in this case, it's selling backpacks, right? And so they do market research first, figure out who the target market is, who's going to be most successful with this. They purchase market research reports, review those market research reports, identify their target persona, order sample backpacks, do some supply chain management by purchasing backpacks and determining the sell price, determining marketing efforts, creating an investor pitch to get more funds, and ultimately building out their company, building out distribution channels, hiring new employees, and optimizing the business for revenue. And so I'll show you at a high level the first couple of rounds that I've already went through here. So some of the results they'll get in the market research, they purchase different, build a survey and purchase market research, and then they can see the results of that survey. So what type of TV programs do they watch? That'll help with marketing later on. What was the last social media ad they clicked? And then we have up above some consumer behavior and psychographic information on the customers. And in round 2, they build out their target persona or who they think that is, and it'll let them know, yes, you're correct on the relationship status, not correct here, and it'll kind of auto-correct them. So throughout the simulation, they're targeting the correct persona. In round 3, they're purchasing sample backpacks and getting some information on those backpacks from the distributor and some feedback from customers on what they liked and didn't like about that backpack, so that in round 4, they can actually purchase backpacks en masse and start selling them. And that's when they start to get, into a lot of the data of, here's the company valuation, here's your income statement, here's your cash flows, here's your inventory, where that's at, here's your advertising, your spend, how much you spent, how many conversions you got from that, so you can optimize your marketing moving forward. And then again, you'll go throughout several rounds, continuing to optimize that and building the business. So that's the simulation side at a high level. I'm sure lots of questions. I'd love to jump in and show you more. We have many people at Stukent that are well versed in these that can walk you through them and give you answer your questions in much more detail. And so with that, I'll kick it back to Liz to talk about our cert prep.
Okay, awesome. Now I'm unmuted. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we'll try to move quickly. We want to leave as much time as possible for Q&A, but I do want to show you guys our Microsoft Office resources. So it's worth noting here before I dive in, we have a current certification prep suite for PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. That aligns to the associate level certification. It works well. It is sufficiently preparing students for the certification. And I want to show you that here in just a minute. There are two things to note about our current resource that we are enhancing for this fall. One, it does require that your school or your students have desktop or PC access to Microsoft to be able to complete the practice tasks and test. And it also isn't auto-graded. So it's viable. Like I said, it's working great. Students are getting certified, but we are in the business of making your life easier as a teacher. So I want to show you the current resource. We have a lot of teachers who are using it right now. And like I said, effectively preparing students. But then I also want to show you the simulation that we have built, that we have the beta version for Word already released, and Excel and PowerPoint are coming a little bit later this year. So this is to start the current course. The format is similar to the BusinessU's, the other lessons, but you'll notice here it's really a little bit different in that it's different sections. And these sections are going to have videos that students can watch, screenshots, and instructions helping them understand different tasks that the certification tests on. They then have practice tasks. This is where they need desktop or PC access to be able to download these tasks, complete them, and then upload them back to you as the teacher to grade. But similarly, you're in charge of what you do and don't deliver. It's very easy to sync to your LMS. So this is, like I said, the current course that you have access to in the trial, and if you were to purchase right now. Additionally, though, this is our beta version of Word, and we are actually building simulations as well for these. So very similar to how when you have the Stukent Sims, it kicks you out to complete them. We're now in the simulation version of our Microsoft Cert Prep. And I did see someone in the chat earlier asking, how does this compare with a couple other resources out there? We cover both the learn and the practice component all in one. So you really just need our one resource for the students to go take. They actually still certify through Certiport. You would go take that exam there. But this covers both the learn and the practice. So how that works, I'm going to launch the simulation. We've actually built a simulated environment of Microsoft. So to get started, today we're learning how to work with text, italicized, bold, and underline. So you'll notice here, I know it may be small, in the top right, there's a learn mode and a practice mode. I'm currently in learn mode, and it's kind of hand-holding me through how I learn this. So it says select the text, and then it's going to tell me, okay, click this button to italicize. Similarly, it'll move on to bold, etc. If I want to move to practice mode, it's going to continue telling me what to do, but it no longer shows me where to do it. So now I'm supposed to bold this, but I don't know where the bold button is. So I'm going to click around and try to find it. You'll notice it's giving me a hint saying, hey lady, click here. So I'm going to click bold, and then it's going to continue moving through the tasks. So that's the learn and the practice component. And then we do have a final application-based resource that actually has them kick out into a Word document, and it gives them the task that they need to complete. And then we auto grade that for you as the teacher. We are incredibly excited about this resource. Like I said, it solves two problems, especially for all of you guys that are on Chromebook only, or students want to be able to go home and work on this and not be limited to working in the computer lab. And then also auto grading for you as the teacher. Again, we want to make your life easier. So that is a quick glimpse into our Cert Prep for Microsoft. And then our Cert Prep for the other three that we listed, personal finance, accounting, and ESB, entrepreneurship and small business. Those, the cert for those is actually our curriculum and our content. So those align to those third-party certifications. So if you have our curriculum, then you are prepped really in theory to take those three. So that's Microsoft. I know I flew through that, but I want to leave time for Virgil to chat through certs really quick, and then we'll wrap things up. Sorry, Paul.
And then we'll bring Paul on for the Q&A, whom we love. So I just want to talk, I just have 4 slides, and this is one of them, to talk through certifications. I know there were some questions on it earlier, and I hit those. So we have 6 certification exams through Stukent, and 5 of those are new. So you might be familiar with our social media marketing certification exam. We've added 5 more to that: intro to business, general marketing, personal finance, entrepreneurship, and sports marketing. These exams have questions based on Bloom's taxonomy, really encourage critical thinking and promote problem solving in the various topics. And they also come with a detailed study guide as well as practice exam for students to be successful on these exams. They're standard aligned and are supported by our standard aligned courseware that can be paired with each certification. We also work to get these exams on state certification or state approval lists. So I know it was asked earlier about Ohio. For our social media certification exam, it's approved in Alabama, Colorado, Oregon, Ohio, Texas, and Wyoming, with many more to come. And so we're working on getting all of our new exams as well as our social media exam on additional states. If you want to help us in that process, you can reach out to Travis Draper. His email is there, travis@stukent.com, to help get our exams on your state's list so that we can make that available for your students and have that be an effective resource for you. And I also want to highlight that each exam will have both a printable and a digital certificate. You can print these certificates out and use them in an award ceremony. And you can also, the students also have access to a digital version that they can share on social media or print themselves or add to their portfolio, whatever they need. So those are our certificates at a high level. Again, if you have questions, we'd love to dive in and answer them. And we'll now invite Paul onto the stage for our Q&A portion.
Yep, I have a few last notes. Really quick, I just kind of want to end before we bring up Q&A with this kind of 4-column image here. So I do want to address out of the gate. I've already seen some questions in there on licensing and pricing. So for licenses, the basic structure is these are what we sell as a site license, and each of these columns is its own resource that can be added to that license. A major message here I want to make to both Legacy BusinessU and Stukent customers. Our goal this year is to make sure you guys are taken care of, that it's a seamless transition, that you guys have the resources that you need. Every school situation is a little bit unique on exact pricing, be that for districts, for some small student discounts, for the resources that you guys have. So we do have a poll that we're going to pull up. If you are a customer that has or you're a teacher that has used neither resource and you would like a quote and you would like pricing, please fill that out. Just let us know if you need a quote and we'll send that your way. And if you need a renewal quote for either BusinessU or Stukent, please go ahead and just say yes there, and we will reach out to you directly and make sure that you get the quote you need with the resources that you need. Some things are changing slightly. We will walk everyone through that on a case-by-case basis if you are renewing with us. But please know our goal is to make sure that you guys are taken care of and that it's a good transition. And then if you're new, we're happy to get you a quote and a pricing breakdown. I think now, Paul, you want to pick up and we'll walk through some Q&A.
All right, thanks guys. Sorry for photobombing your presentations there. I guess I was really anxious to get to the Q&A. So we have reached the point where we are to the Q&A. So if you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. I'm going to start out with some of the questions that were asked earlier. And I think that I'll just say them, and Virgil, Liz, whoever wants to answer, go ahead and answer. Some of them we may not be able to pinpoint exactly where they were from. Kylie Ann asked, is there a way to add a password to a test or a quiz? I believe that might have been with you, Liz.
So it's already built into the platform that you're able to determine which students are able to see it or not. We don't have a way to, and you also have a locking feature. So I can get back to this in a second, but you have the ability to lock content. You have the ability to enable it for some students, but not all. We have toyed around with the idea of closing down content, so you're able to schedule when it opens and schedule when it closes. Currently, that's a manual process, but if I think I understand your question correctly, there are a couple different ways to get at what you might be wanting to do.
Okay, Virgil, this one is about the simulation. Pat asks, how do we assess or enter grades for the students doing the simulation?
Yeah, so I should have covered that. So all the rounds are auto graded and auto scored, and that grade and score will be kicked back into your platform. And from there, you can keep the score that it provides, or you can edit it as you want to say, you know what, actually, I'm going to bump this up, I'm going to adjust this. So full customization there from the teacher side.
Great. Then we have several questions about the prep courses. Marianne asked, how long does it take to complete the Microsoft prep course?
So on average, it's going to be about 4 to 5 weeks of content. Really depends on how you're using it in class. Some teachers are doing that every day during an intensive time. Some of them filter it throughout the semester, but generally they're going to be somewhere around 4 to 5 weeks of time for each of the 3 courses, PowerPoint, Word, and Excel.
Okay, great. Lori asked about the Office certifications. You said they require a PC. Are you looking into a Chromebook option?
So as I mentioned, the current version of it is limited to needing a PC or desktop, but the simulations, the beta version of Word that is already live, that's Chromebook accessible and auto grades, and then our Excel and PowerPoint that will also be coming are also going to all be Chromebook accessible.
Great. Beverly asked about the Microsoft Office certification prep, how it compares to G-Metrics.
So I would go back, if you're comparing it with a lot of other prep resources, G-Metrics, Test Out, et cetera, we're going to cover both the learn and the practice component. So to put it bluntly, you would be able to sub us out for that resource. We're going to be able to cover everything you need for the cert prep.
Okay.
Consolidate those budget line items. One-stop shop. Can't help myself.
Okay. This one was talking about purchasing. From a purchasing perspective, our districts will have to purchase Stukent as an add-on separately with each course. Is that correct?
I'll answer this a little bit more high level. So everything, each of the columns, if you will, can be purchased on their own. If you're currently using the simulations and you just want to continue using the simulations, great. If you only want those, if you only want the courseware, the 4 columns are options for you. We certainly have, I should have mentioned this earlier, so I'm glad this came up. We have bundling discounts. We have district discounts. We have CTE discounts if you combine business and ag. So we have a lot of discounting options, but it's very customizable. We can ultimately get you the resources that you need.
Callie asked if you offer a certification prep for QuickBooks or anything in bookkeeping.
So Intuit has 2 certifications with Certiport. There's the QuickBooks exam and the Certified Bookkeeping Professional. We align fully to the Certified Bookkeeping Professional exam. We align largely to the QuickBooks exam, except for we don't actually have an integration with QuickBooks. Something we would love to have someday, but we don't yet. We do have a lot of teachers who use our course to prep for that, but you are going to have to supplement with a section on actually how to use QuickBooks.
Okay. Virgil, I think this one might be for you, relating to the simulation. It says, working through, what do we do if students cannot upload an ad? Does it kick them back to the start?
So if the students are unable to upload an ad in the social media simulation, if it's a technical issue, like it's not working for them, we have a great support team that's very responsive. You can reach out and they can get you taken care of. Otherwise, that should be the only issue that prohibits them from uploading an ad. And everything is contained within the platform itself. So one of the reasons a lot of teachers love it is if your school doesn't allow access to the social media platforms from the school, ours is all contained within the simulation. It's not actually going out to those social media platforms. So there's no issues there with students accessing those like Instagram or Facebook within our simulation.
Great. So Chad is asking if they're already a customer with Stukent, do they work through their current CSM for pricing?
Yes, that is correct. Whoever you are used to working with, pick your favorite person, reach out to them. We can get you taken care of. So both of our teams are still here. It's also worth noting, unlimited training and support. I should have mentioned this. We're very loud about this. Both companies, it's the heart and soul of what we do. unlimited training and support with any license. At minimum, we want to onboard and train you, but you also have access certainly to us through phone call, through email, through our chat support. It's not robots or AI, it's real people. We are here to help you troubleshoot in real time feedback. So if you're a current user, please reach out to your main person, and know that if you're new to both of us, we would really love to support you.
Great. Are multi-year or long-term quotes available?
Absolutely. Please reach out, fill out that quote. We'll reach out to you, but we definitely have multi-year licenses. You have two benefits from that. It locks in this year's pricing, and we do also have a bit of a discount for multi-year. So absolutely happy to do that. Great.
Let's see. Daniel says, my school is using Knowledge Matters largely due to the way it works with DECA. He inherited it. Do you plan to do more with these organizations? The students love the virtual competitions.
I'm so glad you brought this up. So we actually have a challenge with DECA, a corporate challenge that we run called the DECA at the Bell Challenge. I would highly recommend, we can maybe, if someone can put that in the chat box. So we actually run it with DECA, and students are able to create their own episode of DECA at the Bell, and they submit those. The winning episode is released to the nation. So that's one example. Really, to your question, Daniel, yes, we were going to continue to double down on our relationship with the CTSOs. They're a massive part of how we want to serve teachers. Our content does already align to the standards that a lot of the competitions prep towards. So we have a lot of schools that successfully use our courses to prep them for the standards in general. And we definitely want to continue partnering with them more.
Yeah,
Michael just put that in there.
On that as well, we also have a social media challenge with them through our social media Simternships. So the students play through a few rounds of the social media Simternship, and again, we select winners from that based on how much revenue they earn in the sim. And as Liz said, we love DECA, and we're looking to continue to build out more and more with them.
Great. Well, before we finish today, I want to put the free trial link up one more time. If you haven't clicked on that, go ahead and click on that. Liz and Virgil, thank you so much for joining us. I want to give you each just one moment if there's something you'd like to finish up with.
I just want to say thank you. This has been awesome. Great interaction in the chat. It's been great bringing both these teams together. We love the BusinessU folks, as many of you do as well, and you know how great they are, and now we know how great they are. And so we're super excited about bringing both these teams and both these sets of products together to really create, as Liz said, a one-stop shop for all of our CTE educators to come and get everything they need, and not just have it all in one location, but have the best of each of those sections. So
yep.
Thank you.
World-class resources. You guys are world-class teachers. We're here to support you. Please keep feedback coming to both of us, but ultimately, we want to be your people for anything that you guys need. So reach out to us for a trial, for a quote, for feedback, anything that you guys need. We're here to help. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Send them our way.
Yes. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Virgil. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We're so excited for this new partnership and all the great that we're going to do to help you wonderful teachers out there. Once again, just a reminder, we will send you an email, so you'll have this recording and any information that was included in it today. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.